So today, I'm going to be teaching you how to make this with my assistant, Alberto. So let's look at the whole overview of this. First, I'm going to tell you about all the wide range of ingredients I have. Then, I'm going to teach you the recipe so you can make it with me at home. Finally, I'm going to be teaching you the presentation and the tricks on how to make it look beautiful. So are you ready to start? Because I am. Let's go to the ingredients. So here I have all of my ingredients. The main ingredient that you must have is the yogurt. This yogurt is actually homemade, and this is 2 cups of yogurt. Next, I have cocoa powder, which is 1/4 cup. This is the thing that's going to mainly be sweetening and flavoring the chocolate. Sugar, which is half a cup. You can actually vary this just in case. This is ice, 1/4 cup. Water, you only need 1 or 2 tablespoons of this. Coffee powder, 1 teaspoon mixed in with 1 teaspoon of water to create an extract. You can also use ready-made chocolate syrup, but I'm going to be teaching you how to make this. So what are some utensils you'll be needing? You're going to be needing a spoon or a measuring spoon, a small glass to mix in, a small bowl to mix in, or a large bowl to mix in. You will be needing both. This is a glass I'm using, a butter churner. This is optional, but I just wanted to try it out because this is how they did it in the olden days, and I wanted to try it out myself. You also need some napkins, and just make sure that you ask your parents for permission first before you do anything in the kitchen, and make sure you always have adult supervision with you. So, here's some alternatives to the ingredients that we have. You can make it sugar-free by using honey, agave nectar, or maple syrup. You can make it dairy-free by using dairy-free yogurt. So, here's the exciting part. Let's start making! So, taking my large bowl, and the first step is to take your yogurt and pour it all in to your bowl. Okay. So next, we need to make sure that we're flavoring this yogurt because that's the main thing that's going to create our whole Lassi experience. So I'm taking 1.5 teaspoons of cocoa. And now we're going to add lots of sugar. Again, you can also use agave nectar, maple syrup, honey, pretty much any sweetener to sweeten this up. Now, I'm adding a little bit coffee powder because coffee powder gives you an amazing color and it really enriches the flavor of the chocolate. So in that goes. Okay, so now we're going to mix this, and this is going to be our full flavored yogurt. Hey. So we're right now flavoring the yogurt, so the ice will come in a little bit later once this flavored yogurt is done. So let me just tell you a little bit about the churner that I'm using. So the churner was something that was used in the olden days, and it was a very important thing. And people would use it to churn butter, and they would just sit, and they would have 2 strings attached to it, and they would just go like that, churning the butter, which is pretty cool. So now, I'm going to put in ice. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about the history of Lassi. Lassi was invented between 1000 and 2000 BC in Punjab, India. It's known as the ancient smoothie because it was the first ever drink to be created with yogurt. How cool is that? It sat a trend around the world for adding yogurt into drinks because people in warm places didn't really realize that yogurt can cool you down when you drink it. This has such a cool history. But let me tell you a little bit about my own history with lassi. The first time I ever had lassi was in India, and my grandma made it for me. It was a plain traditional lassi, and all my cousins were there with me, enjoying it. It was so good, we drank it up in 5 seconds straight. But when I finished drinking, everyone was looking at me weird, and they started laughing. Little did I know, I had a ginormous lassi mustache on my face. Uh-oh. When I looked in the mirror, I realized that I did have a lassi mustache because I didn't realize that the entire time. So when you're at home, be sure to try that out because it's great for laughs. It looks like my lassi is looking good and all chocolatey. Now that my lassi is done, I'm going to place it aside and we're going to make the second component of our dish, which is chocolate syrup. So this is when our small bowl is going to come into use. I'm taking about a teaspoon and a half again of my cocoa powder. And now I'm going to just take a little bit of water. I'm only putting in 2 teaspoons right now. And you can see that I'm mixing it in. You want to mix it really fast and hard because if you mix it too slowly, you're just going to get a thick end result, which we don't want. Continue mixing this. I'm going to add a little bit more water into this. Okay, that should be enough. Okay, so now it's starting to come together a little bit, looking more like a chocolate syrup. So right now, if your chocolate syrup looks like this, that's not good. You want to add a little bit more water into this. Okay, so this looks a little bit better. So now, taking about a pinch or a teaspoon of sugar. And we're going to pop this in the fridge for 10 to 20 minutes for best results. So, I have a chocolate syrup, which I've already done that to, and you can see how the color has drastically changed and it looks so much more chocolatey and delicious. And here's a tip, you can add a little bit of olive oil or vegetable oil into it for a glossy finish and an even better chocolate syrup texture, basically. So, we're just gonna pop this over to the side. And now is my most favorite part, presentation. So, I grab a tissue really quickly. So, presentation is important so you can make your dish look very good. So here I have my favorite glass, and I'm going to take some of the chocolate syrup, and to start, I'm going to take it, and I'm going to just make a little puddle at the bottom. It should just be enough, just barely, to cover up the base of the glass, like so. So I have crushed up my favorite cookie, which is Milano, but you can use Oreos, Chips Ahoy, any kind of cookie actually. You can even use a homemade cookie. So I'm just sprinkling in a couple of those. That's what that looks like. So now I'm going to take some of my lassi, pour it in. Only a third of the way should go. That's about enough. So now, taking our thick chocolate syrup, and we're going to create a drip effect. So the drip effect should only go up to where the lassi is, and then it will just seep past, which is cool. So I'm going to be rotating my glass, and this is going to create a really nice effect. It also, what it does, is it gives a really cool rim to the side of the glass, which is an opportunity to add in our cookies on the side, like so. So again, you can use any cookie for this, and it looks super good. So now I'm taking the rest of my chocolate. Let's see, that should be about enough. And here's the fun part. You can customize this in any way you'd like with your chocolate syrup and add any pattern on top of it. I like doing zigzags, but you can even write in your initials, do a heart, anything you'd like. So here we go. That's my zigzag. Okay, so that is looking super good, but to make it look even better, we gotta add cookie crumbs on top. And just as an indication, if this isn't enough that it's a chocolate lassi, we're gonna add in a pinch, don't go overdo with it, of cocoa powder. And that makes a delicious, beautiful drink of chocolate lassi. Order up! See you outside. But first, let's give this bad boy a taste. That's delicious. I hope you all try this at home and make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.